Hi loves. So tonight is the 6th night of Navaratri, which is the 9-night celebration of the goddess Durga in the Hindu tradition, and a celebration that is very dear to my heart, as I have a very deep connection with Durga and the goddess Devi in general. So there's a few different ways that this 9-night festival is celebrated. One of the main ways in India is to celebrate the Navadurga, or the 9 different incarnations of Durga, or manifestations of Durga. So celebrating each one for each day, and then the 10th day is called Vijayadashami, where they celebrate the victory of the goddess Durga over the demon Mahishasura. Another really common way that it's celebrated, especially by a lot of Westerners and gurus and whatnot, is to dedicate the first 3 nights to the goddess Durga, the second 3 nights to the goddess Lakshmi, and the third 3 nights to the goddess Saraswati, who are all essentially aspects of the same Devi, or the same goddess. So my inspiration today came from it being the 3rd or final night of the goddess Lakshmi via that way of celebration, and just really feeling this connection to the goddess Lakshmi at this time, and also how I feel she tends to be misunderstood. And the goddess Lakshmi, you know, she's the one we go to when we want wealth and we want beauty and we want when we want things from the external world. So she's a very alluring goddess in that she can indeed grant all these boons or blessings for us. However, she also is testing us by this beauty, by this charm of the external world. And her real teaching is for us to go beyond this. That while she can grant us all these outer riches, she is truly the path to the inner riches. And it is indeed her test whether we go to her and ask for, you know, a shiny new car and the perfect new husband, or we go to her and we ask her for the keys to the inner kingdom of wealth, so that we can directly experience the abundance and beauty of this world. So that was something that is just alive for me right now, in that you know, in the West and in our spiritual circles, we have a lot of talk of like manifesting. Like, we spend a lot of energy trying to manifest our desires into the material reality. And there's nothing wrong with this. I myself am one who likes to bring my visions into this form. I love beauty. I love sparkly things. I'm a dancer. Like, I get that. And, you know, it becomes short-sighted in this world of temporality. It becomes short-sighted to try to constantly be manifesting our desires, which frequently stem from the ego. So I guess my invitation is to look to Lakshmi in a deeper way, and to create a relationship with the goddess of beauty, the goddess of wealth, the goddess of sensuality, the goddess of preservation and sustenance, in recognizing her deeper aspects, that until we can really anchor the experience of abundance and plenitude within ourselves, we can't even enjoy that out here. And what we tend to do with the energy of desire, which is very much the energy of Lakshmi, is we're constantly like reaching out here, you know, myself included, and I witness this in myself. It's like you have a desire, you fulfill the desire, there's a moment of like, you know, the desire's been fulfilled, and then pretty soon that goes away almost instantly. If you notice, it's actually like the desiring before you achieve the results that is usually the best part of the whole thing. Then you achieve it, and it's like the fulfillment is so fleeting, and then we're on to the next thing, right? It's insatiable. So what Lakshmi truly can grant us is a feeling of fullness within, where we no longer need to continue to do that, because we have reached the inner well of riches. And so the goddess Lakshmi is responsible for four aspects of our life, and it's really important that we honor her in her fullness of these four aspects and the balance of these four aspects, rather than focusing on just simply one or two, which are the most common to focus on. And those four aspects that the goddess Lakshmi grants us are Artha, which is wealth, which is one of the most common things she is invoked for in India and beyond. Dharma, which is our work in action, but it's our work connected to spirit. It's like our spiritual dharma to, for example, to give our service into this planet. Here we are manifested in a physical realm, and we all have a duty while we're here. And I believe part of our life is to figure out what that duty is in a higher sense of the word, how we can truly help creation. So that's Dharma. That's another piece she grants us blessings within. Kama, which is desire. So the two most common things that we get excited about with the goddess Lakshmi are Artha, wealth, and Kama, desire. So this is our ability to enjoy sensual beauty, to enjoy the food we eat and the music. And goddess Lakshmi is kind of like seen as the riches of the land. So she's the one who inspires culture within humanity, because when our base needs are met, which she's also responsible for, the food we eat, having shelter, having enough, when we have enough, when our root chakra is satisfied, then human spirit gets to blossom. And I see this as one of her aspects as Kamala, or the one who bears the lotus, is that when our roots are nourished, we get to flower. We get to focus on extracurricular things such as creating music and dance and art and beauty. And so she's also equally responsible for that, and that to me fits under Kama. But Kama is also that, it can be intoxicating, and it can be very nourishing. I consider it kind of the beauty way, but it can also be a trap. So it's like, how do we learn to engage with the energy of Kama, or the energy of desire? And as I said earlier, it's like frequently it's kind of insatiable and it's all out here, whereas Lakshmi's true gift is to find the source of that Kama, and when we find the source, we find the fullness. We no longer necessarily need to be fulfilled from outside, because there is so much fulfillment within. We become effulgent when we truly tap into this energy of Lakshmi. We become abundant and overflowing with that kind of Kama energy. So that leads into her final branch that she grants blessings in, and that is moksha. And if we fall into the traps of Artha or Kama, we thwart our possibility to achieve moksha, which is liberation. So Lakshmi is actually a goddess of liberation who grants us all the means we need. As we're in a physical body and she is the preserver, we need to be sustained in this physical vessel, which is our vessel of awakening. So she gives us everything that we need to pursue our path of awakening. But if we get caught up in the material pursuits, we miss the whole point of why she is supporting us in this way. So our highest goal becomes moksha. Our highest goal becomes awakening to the inner riches within. And one of Lakshmi's counterparts in the tantric system is the goddess Lalita Tripura Sundari, who is the beauty of the three worlds. And both of these goddesses are related to the Sri Yantra, or the Sri Chakra. And so while Lakshmi does indeed grant a lot of the beauty and riches in the external world, her counterpart, Lalita, grants us the inner riches, where we truly come to know the beauty of our being, of our consciousness, of our embodiment. So they work together in that way. And again, I guess my inspiration for sharing today was just the true aspects of the goddess Lakshmi and what she truly represents. And I feel, again, in the West, we get caught up in a misrepresentation of what she is really here to deliver us to and from. So that is my inspiration for the 6th night of Navaratri on the goddess Lakshmi, and her ability to bestow immense wealth within. And, you know, I think it's apparent, we look at some of the humans in this world who have mass amounts of wealth and yet keep needing to collect more. You know, there's not a fulfillment. There's like a bottomless pit. So Lakshmi is the one who can grant us the fulfillment that even if we're penniless, we feel the abundance, we feel full, we feel like we have enough. This has been something I've really received from all my time going to India, is seeing people who literally have, you know, hardly anything, and yet you look in their eyes and there's just this fullness. There's like, and not to discredit, there is a lot of suffering, there is a lot of challenge. There are people who are really, you know, in survival mode on the daily in that country, but it's contrasted by people who have hardly anything and have so much to give at the same time. And to me, that's been a really beautiful reflection, especially in my life when I get into scarcity mentality and my overly privileged reality. To just remember that, to remember that the true wealth is really within us, and our true beauty is really within us. And when we see a person who embodies the qualities of Lakshmi, they have a charisma about them, they have an energy about them, and it's separate from their physical looks. It's very much about an energy that bubbles up from within, that is captivating, that is rooted from this kind of dwelling of Lakshmi, and that is Lakshmi's blessing. So in the name of Lakshmi, may all beings experience this inner wealth. May we all come to really deeply know our own fullness and our own inner wealth and our own spiritual dharma, and the root of those desires that is already rooted in fullness, as well as our liberation within the material realm. So that's my sharing for the 6th night of Navaratri. 3 more nights to go. So after tonight we move into Saraswati, who's the goddess of wisdom and sweetness of speech and sound and the arts. So yeah, I just love this festival. It's the best ever. So many blessings to all of you, and thanks for taking a moment to listen to my sharing on the goddess Lakshmi.